I'm Director of Career Services with Vets to PM. And I have Bridget Manning with me, who's our SkillBridge Program Manager. And she helped me, as I said, build and refine our SkillBridge program through 2021. And we are a DoD-approved SkillBridge provider. We also do certification training for transitioning service members, and we provide several services to transitioning service members, and it has morphed into us being able to help corporate America bring on more veterans through our DoD SkillBridge program. Okay, so Vets to PM, we help military veterans achieve meaningful, lucrative post-service careers. That is our mission. We do this through certification training, starting out with project management certifications, PMP, Kaplan, ACP, and the professional Scrum Master. We also have a general manager certification called the Certified Manager, a human resources certification program called the APHR, and we have a cyber IT program where we work with a training partner through VetTech to help transitioning service members prepare for careers in the IT cyber world. We also provide career services to all of those transitioning service members that we assist. And we provide talent services to hiring companies who are interested in direct placement, direct hires of military veterans. And then finally, through our DoD SkillBridge program. We are an approved DoD SkillBridge provider, and some people can refer to us as a third-party provider because we are able to facilitate SkillBridge for host companies. That's what we call our partners in SkillBridge is host companies. Sometimes they are companies that are not SkillBridge approved, but they do want to bring on SkillBridge interns. And other times they are companies that are just too busy to manage SkillBridge programs themselves. And we've seen both. Isn't that correct, Bridget?
Yes, that's for sure.
So this is how our SkillBridge program works. It's pretty simple, and it's not much different than if a company is hiring a candidate as a direct hire candidate. We provide the hiring company provides Vets to PM what they're looking for. We source SkillBridge candidates. We do that through our job board. We post the SkillBridge opportunity on our job board. We promote it across all of our social media accounts and on SkillBridge pages and LinkedIn and Facebook, and to get the word out. We present candidates to the host company so that they can review the resume. We provide all of their dates of availability, et cetera. And then the host company, interviews the candidates just like you would if you were hiring one directly. You select the candidate, and we, choose their pathway because we incorporate certification training with our SkillBridge internships. So your candidate might fall within PM, human resources, IT cyber, or general management. And if they don't fit within one of those pathways, we can administer it under the admin only, where there is no certification training. We walk the intern through their command approval process. We work with them to help facilitate that. And we monitor the intern once they've gotten command approval. We basically track and keep in touch with the intern from, the very beginning through the end of the internship, and we do the same with our host partners. We also ensure that each intern pre-certifies for the Work Opportunity Tax Credit, which is a Department of Labor program that provides tax credits to companies that hire veterans. That's great for the company that's hiring them because they get a tax credit, but it can also be an advantage for the intern moving forward, because if they bring a tax credit with them, they can use that when they're interviewing with companies to say, if you hire me, you'll get a tax credit, and here's a piece of paper that shows what that tax credit would be. Bridget, have I missed anything?
No, not so far. I think everything sounds, or what I like about the fact that you're getting a skilled and trained person into your corporation. And so being able to take a few weeks at the beginning of the internship to be able to train in specifics, IT, cyber, PMP, or the certified manager, APHR programs, gives us kind of a focused time at the beginning of the internship, and then you'll get that skilled veteran into your company. So
exactly. And because we've been training transitioning military members in industry certifications for many years, the reason we do that is because everybody knows that it can be difficult for a transitioning veteran to get a meaningful, lucrative post-service career initially in that first job. We feel strongly that by getting a certification that industry recognizes, such as the PMP or the APHR or the SEC Plus, whatever it might be, it really validates that intern's experience, and it also proves their fluency in their chosen field. So a company that's hiring a project manager knows about the PMP. They might not know about the Air Force, but they know if they're looking at a candidate who's coming out of the Air Force with a PMP certification or an APHR certification or whatever goes along with the field that they're going into, it shows that that person understands that function as any other candidate would. And it gives corporate America confidence that this person has the baseline knowledge or the basic knowledge in this field. And, it just makes that hiring process easier for the veteran and for the hiring company.
You can't see me, Kathy, but I'm sitting here nodding my head. Like, there's so many different experiences that in the military that you receive that you really can't quantify, and you really don't get certifications. And our certifications that we have may not necessarily translate into the corporate world. So this gives us an opportunity to take all of those experiences and skill sets and put them into a piece of paper or a quantifier that says, yes, we already had the experience. Now we just have to qualify it with the certification. So it's awesome to get this training into for our veterans so that they can capitalize on that when they're making their segue into the private sector.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's exactly right. And those certifications provide a bridge, if you will, to show the companies that that these people have the qualifications that they need. So it helps everybody get a step closer to the end goal, which is, and when we say meaningful, lucrative post-service career, lucrative doesn't necessarily mean money. I mean, obviously, you want somebody to transition into a position that monetarily is equivalent to their value. But it really means a position that they're qualified for. A transitioning veteran is changing industries. It doesn't mean that they should always have to start at the bottom in the civilian workforce, because these people have, 10, 15, 20 years plus of experience. So they're professionals. And so when we say meaningful, lucrative post-service career, we mean that it's equivalent to what this person is qualified for. So our pathways, we'll run through these real quick. So the project management pathway comes with PMP certification and professional Scrum Master certification training. The intern spends the first 2 weeks with Vets to PM to do their training for both of these certifications. And then we turn the intern over to the host company for the remainder of the internship. For all of our interns in all of our pathways and the admin only pathway, we hold a Zoom meeting every Thursday with all of our interns. And it's a way for us to mentor them, to educate them, and to connect with them, and to make sure that we're keeping in contact with them, answering questions, and fostering their success with their host company. We do invite the host company supervisor to these meetings as well. They're welcome to join. But it has proven to be really successful for the interns. So we keep track of them. Nothing gets slipped under the rug or missed. And we're addressing everything while providing mentorship and guidance and education to the interns. And we also, about that 2 week or 1 week timeframe where we keep the intern, we have seen that if if somebody comes out of uniform on Friday and starts a SkillBridge internship on Monday, that can be a very difficult transition, if you will. And the reason we're here is to make all of this transition easier for the interns. So if we keep them for the first week or two, they get used to using Zoom, they get used to using Slack for instant messaging, they get used to all of the different platforms that we're using, and we get to, and then as well as do their certification training. So by the time they start with the host company, they have taken a breath, exhaled, gotten used to some of the ways the civilian sector does business through working with us and on all of our platforms. And then they are better prepared mentally. They're in a better headspace for starting the on-the-job training with the host company. Next pathway, human resources. It's the APHR certification training, and we really only need the intern for the first week because that is an on-demand course that isn't as intensive as the PMP. It can be completed in a couple of days. So we generally just keep the APHR interns for the first week before they start their on-the-job training with the host company. IT cyber. We pretty much everybody who registers for interest in our SkillBridge program has at least a secret security clearance. If they also have the Security Plus certification, that makes them DoD 8570, 8140 compliant, and it opens up their employability with government contractors. So that's the focus of our IT cyber pathway. Sorry, getting over a cold. I apologize. But we also work with one host company where we work with through the Vet Tech program. And we have a training partner through Vet Tech where we can put our IT cyber interns through several different pathways. And that way we can get, somebody might come into this pathway with a Sec Plus already. Excuse me. And they might want to go into the cyber warrior pathway or the network administrator pathway. So we can foster additional certifications by working with this, with the Vet Tech program. So the bottom line for the IT cyber pathway is we're pretty agile and we can create a program that works best for the host company.
Kathy, if I may interrupt, you have a question on the chat function that says for IT certification, can you help earn the, I guess it's a CASP Plus certification? Yes.
So we interns are able to register or apply for Vet Tech funds at their 180-day mark from their end of service date. So we can work with Intellectual Point, which is a Vet Tech approved training provider for technology training. And we can facilitate, if we have a host company to host you for OJT, we can facilitate all different certifications, and that is one of them, yes.
Right, I think Cloud Architect, Amazon, there's a lot of things. If you go to our website and under the SkillBridge program, you can actually see some of those, and you can go to the job board and also look at what is available and kind of what services we provide to different clients with those certifications.
Absolutely, and as far as qualifying for Vet Tech, it is, as long as you have I think it's 1 week or 1 month eligibility through GI Bill, you qualify for Vet Tech. You don't use your GI Bill funds, but so I had one person who was applying for our IT cyber pathway, and he had already signed his GI Bill over, I guess, to his children. So he didn't have any more earmarked for himself. So what he did was he took, I think it was 1 month of GI Bill eligibility and put it back in his pot, available for him.
Right.
And because he had that, he qualified to apply for Vet Tech. And so Vet Tech will pay for certification training. It doesn't pay for exams, but it pays for certification training. You don't have to go through SkillBridge to use vet tech. Any transitioning service member who has GI Bill and funds can qualify and apply for vet tech funding. And so it's a program that you should look at if you're interested in that, but we can use that program in conjunction with host companies that are looking for IT cyber interns, and we can skill up and certify up those interns. So when their internship is over, they're a great candidate with a whole bunch of certifications. We've had some people who've gone through pathways where there's 3 different certifications, I think Sec Plus, Certified Ethical Hacker, and CYSA, et cetera. And, they're coming out of this with turning down job offers because they have too many. So
Right.
it's a really great program that with the IT cyber side, we can, for our host companies, we can make the program what you need, what you require. So then we have general management. So this is somebody who just wants to go the management route in any kind of company, or maybe they want to become an entrepreneur, and they can get the certified manager certification. And much like the HR track, they would spend 1 week with Vets PM, and then they can start with their host company. Admin only is for organizations that want to host SkillBridge interns, but their needs don't fall within one of our other 4 pathways. So if there is no certification training that takes place from Vets PM, we can help you host interns on an admin only basis. And we still keep the intern for the first week, so they get that time, but they don't go through our certification training program. They just start right with the host company. We have real estate organizations. We have counseling, mental health counseling organizations who have come to us and said, we'd like to bring on this intern. And we do it on an admin only track because we don't certify in what they need. So we figured we'd cover some frequently asked questions here, and then we can go on to the question session. The host company, what is their liability? They, as Bridget said earlier, aside from just normal OSHA, whatever your requirements are for keeping a safe work environment, there is no liability. The SkillBridge intern is still technically active duty service member. They are still getting their paycheck. They are still getting all of their insurance and everything. We put somebody in a project management internship with a company that does heavy civil construction. And he worked on a construction site for a $400 million bridge project. And the first question the host company asked me was, what if he gets hurt? So we went and looked into the program and ensured that his workman's comp and all of that was covered through the military, as if, he was still going to his military job every day. So there really is no liability under this program. Is this a paid internship? No. The service member is being paid by their service organization. They continue to get paid as they normally would. Can we hire our interns? Yes, you can hire your intern. They can accept a job at any time, and they can start working in a new job when their terminal leave starts. Many call that double dipping because terminal leave, if you're not familiar with that, is the civilian equivalent of paid time off that's been saved up. So when somebody transitions out of the military, oftentimes they have terminal leave saved up. It can be up to 30 or 60 days. So that 6-month eligibility for SkillBridge, you usually subtract the terminal leave time, and that's how much time they have to devote to the internship. So if somebody starts an internship January 1, they get out of the service July 1, they've got 2 months of terminal leave. So they're with you until May or April, end of April, and then May and June is when they're on terminal leave. Many interns are happy to get a job offer starting right when their terminal leave starts. Others want to take a little bit of time off. But you can make them a job offer anytime as long as it starts on or after their terminal leave date. Typically, the SkillBridge internship ends right before the terminal leave date starts. Many people ask us, right, Bridget, what's the catch? There really is no catch. Corporate America gets experienced, trained, skilled veterans and the veteran gets a meaningful, lucrative post-service career. What this SkillBridge internship does is gives the transitioning service member several months to work in corporate America. It gives them the opportunity, while they're still active duty and getting paid, to go into corporate America, hopefully enjoy and learn in the internship that they're in, and if all goes well, get a job offer at the end of that internship. What that means for corporate America is you get somebody who you've spent time with, who has learned the job, has learned about your company. And if everybody's interested in it moving forward, if you hire that candidate, the onboarding process is simple and your retention rate goes way up, especially with a diverse population like your veteran retention rates. It's going to go way up. We have had well over 80% of our SkillBridge interns accept jobs at the end of their internship. Lots of them with their host companies. And if that didn't align, they've got jobs lined up with other companies. So it works, and we've seen it work, and we've watched these people go straight from the military into meaningful, lucrative post-service careers. And there's nothing better, honestly.
You know, Kathy, I'll say that is actually the number one question that I get, because a lot of host companies think that, you know, well, this sounds just too good to be true that I actually get experienced people in, and that we're not starting from entry level employees. You know, we can actually tap into a whole different group of candidates for our company. So like, I don't understand kind of, you know, what has to be, there has to be a catch. And I will say that retiring from the Air Force, I can say from firsthand experience, you know, just getting in and having conversations with people in the private sector. Kathy, I work directly with you. You know, we just talked about even just language barriers itself is just you know, a huge learning curve for us, and we have to learn how to not speak in acronyms. We learn different programs. You know, we're used to our general Outlook. You know, we're now doing Teams. You know, and when we work with Vets to PM, we're using Zoom, and we use just different programs that we just never used in the military. And so it gives us an idea of how to slowly integrate without being so scared that we're going to lose our paycheck, and that we still have our benefits. So it gives you that relief as a veteran to know that you're going to work with a different company, you're going to learn so many different things. And then that company actually gets to learn so many different aspects of the veteran and you know, what we do in the military. And it's not really just put your uniform on, go to work. We're not all infantry. We're not all, you know, we have so many different skill sets that you can tap into. And one great thing that I think our host companies are now realizing is that when we write a resume, there might be, you know, it's really hard to write a resume for a military veteran because we have so many different skill sets that it's hard to kind of pinpoint what we're supposed to be exploiting on our resume, you know. So for example, mine was project management, or am I a leader, or am I an electronics person? Do, you know, I have multiple leadership attributes, or I guess I'll say kind of academics, you know, like we do leadership school. So how do you consolidate that into a two-page resume? So what some of our clients have and host companies have realized is that, you know, we may send them someone that might be project management centric, but then they realize that they have all of this cyber experience or different experience skill sets. So it's just such a huge diverse culture that we have in the military, and it gives our host companies an opportunity to kind of tap into that and get that integrated into their company.
That's so well said. And we saw that happen. We had one gentleman who was brought on to one of our host companies as a project manager intern. And he was with this company for several months, and he had an operational background as well. And what the company that brought him on as a PM intern realized was they needed somebody with his operational expertise. They didn't even really realize that. And they ended up hiring him as an operations manager instead of a project manager. And the intern was fine with that because when he got to the company, he realized where he could provide the most value, and that's where it was. And it was a great learning experience for both the company and the intern. He ended up in a job that he never would have started looking for operations management positions because he was focused on project management, but he found his niche in the right company and in the right role within that company. So it ebbs and flows even once you're in the internship. And if the company and the intern, we call them residents when they're in residency, when they get in that internship, if everybody keeps an open mind, and this is what I talk to a lot of companies about as far as retaining veterans. When a company hires a veteran, they have to keep in touch with them, at least initially, especially if they're a recent, if they just were transitioning out, because what can happen is the intern or the veteran can go into this position and find out, hey, I really like this company and I like what they're all about, but this position, I'm just not feeling it, right? So if you can figure that out while you're on an internship, as opposed to when you first get hired, that's an advantage, right? Because it gives you the freedom to talk about that. But many companies don't follow their veterans for that first year and check in with them regularly or pair them with a mentor or a buddy that they can talk to. Because if you can meet these issues head on, you're going to increase your retention rate, because most companies, when they invest in hiring someone, if they find that they're not in the exact right position, but they can transition them into a different position in the company that's going to make better sense, it's better for the veteran, it's better for the company, and it increases retention rates again. And other people in the company see that the company is truly committed to making these veteran hires successful. So to be able to learn these types of things during a SkillBridge internship, where a final decision hasn't been made on either party's part, it allows people the freedom to learn. And then if an offer is made at the end of the internship, then that's great. If not, the intern comes out of this internship with civilian work experience on their resume, a lot of lessons learned from that internship, the ability to speak civilian better, and understand civilian work culture better. So when they go into a next job interview, they're going to be able to evaluate that position so much more effectively than if they had not done SkillBridge. So thank you for that. Last question, what's the cost? There's no cost to the veteran. They continue to get paid through their service organization. We ask our host partners to cover the cost of certification, training, and or admin fees. It's really not a lot. The work opportunity tax credit, if they hire them, more than covers that. And we can talk about that if you have questions. We can go into that. But at the end of the presentation, we have contact information. I'll leave this slide up while we're in our Q&A session. So
Kathy, if I can ask, can I just interject one of the questions that we also get that I forgot to add on that frequently asked questions is, let's say I'm a host company, and at the time, I want to be able to provide meaningful training in an environment for our veterans, but I'm not quite sure if I'm going to have a full-time position at the end of their internship. What am I required? Am I required to offer them a position, or what are some of the things that I'm actually required to do if I take on an intern, or as you call them, a resident?
Yep, excellent question. When you bring on a resident intern, we provide you with an onboarding checklist just to help you onboard that intern. And we also provide you a weekly feedback. It's kind of like doing an annual review, but it's weekly. You're not required to do it weekly, but we provide you that just to give you a platform, to give you a document that you can track what objectives are for the intern, and however often you want to meet with the intern to see how they're doing, and to mitigate any issues that are coming up, or take care of any impediments to their process, et cetera. And really the only obligation other than effective, managing your intern internally through your processes is to provide them with a formal job interview at the end of the internship. The DoD requires that all of our interns receive a formal job interview. So if we work with a host company, the host company is definitely better positioned to do that. So we ask the host company to do the formal job interview, and that is it. You are not obligated to hire the intern.
What happens with the intern if you don't have a position open? How do you help them find their lucrative career? Because I'm thinking on a host company, if I obligate to take on, and for some reason something comes up, I don't want my veteran that I'm hosting to be at a disadvantage. Do you provide anything or help them out, find them full-time employment, or are they just kind of on their own after their internship?
So good question. During the internship, we provide career services to the intern. We have a proprietary resume builder. I'm a professional resume writer, and we built this resume builder form for a couple of reasons: to help the intern learn how to write a resume and what needs to be focused. Obviously, for hiring companies, when you look at a resume, you want to be able to understand the language. You also want to answer the question from the hiring manager, what can this candidate do for me? So we teach them how to focus their resume thinking forward, as opposed to just having it talk about their past. So we make those connections in the summary, in the header, in the areas of expertise, so that it's an effective resume. So they get that, they get LinkedIn optimization, and they get a 4-part interview skills workshop with 2 one-on-one sessions with our interview person. And all of that prepares them for their job search. If they take advantage of those services, when they interview with the host company, they should present, with a nice resume and be able to, effectively go through the interview process. Sometimes a job offer just doesn't align at the end of an internship. So each of our interns go into our candidate database, which we call Purple X, and they get lifetime job placement assistance. So they're in our candidate database for life, and we work with many, many employer partners who can subscribe to our candidate database, who post jobs on our job board. And we are always making connections in that way to help get people placed in those meaningful, lucrative post-service careers.
Yeah, I think we use our network services, or our network through LinkedIn and Facebook, and everything that we can do to help them and assist them in finding another job, whether it's on another host company, for full-time employment, but we also send out messages for direct hires after their internship. So even I would say to the, host companies, that if you're concerned about not having a position, I would say the training and the experience that the veteran gets is so important. And that, we will assist if for some reason there's not a position at the end for full-time employment, that we will help find our veterans their a placement somewhere.
And oftentimes the host company has networks that they help the intern as well.
Oh, yeah.
If it's not
awesome host companies, for sure.
Right. So if it's if it's not a matter of this person isn't a good fit with this company, where it's just that the stars can't align and it doesn't work. I've seen the host companies on more than one occasion get them in contact with other companies that they work with or know of, and the hire takes place that way. So that's wonderful. We have still 20 minutes left. So please unmute and feel free to ask a question. We have on the slide, we have our website. So this is the SkillBridge site, the SkillBridge page of our website for corporate America. So a lot of what we talked about is answered on that page. And we're also going to post probably this video on that page. We also have a website contact form. So you can go to that contact form and submit any questions that you have for us. my email address and Bridget's email address. And if you are a prospective intern and you're on this, feel free to ask a question as well.